me tell you about a type of love we've almost forgotten. A love that doesn't expect reciprocity, that doesn't demand gratitude, that doesn't keep score. A love that gives simply because it can, that helps simply because someone needs it, that extends beyond your family circle, beyond your close friends, beyond even the people you know. A love for humanity itself. The ancient Greeks had a name for this. They called it agape, the highest love, the noblest love, the most difficult love to cultivate. It's not the romantic love that gives you butterflies. It's not the familial love you inherited at birth. It's not even the friendship love you've built over time. It's something bigger, something more expansive, something that connects you to all of humanity and reminds you we are all in this together. Welcome. This is the 5th episode of Love for Real, and today we are going to talk about something profound, something transformative, something that could change not just your life, but the world around you. We are going to talk about compassionate love. Love that expects nothing in return. Love that sees suffering and responds. Love that recognizes the humanity in every person, even in strangers. Love called agape. And maybe you're wondering, why does this matter? Why should I care about the suffering of people I don't know? Because your capacity to feel compassion, to extend love beyond your immediate circle, doesn't just make the world a better place. It makes you more human, more whole, more connected. And in a world that often feels fragmented and divided, agape can be the glue that binds us together. We live in a strange time. We've never had more information about the war of suffering. We've never been more aware of the crisis, the injustices, the pain that exists beyond our doors. And yet, we've never felt more powerless to do anything about it. We see the news, we see the hunger, the war, the poverty, the displacement, and we are overwhelmed. We feel the problem is too big, that we are too small, that nothing we do will really matter. So what do? We disconnect. We become numb. We focus only on our immediate circle. And little by little, without realizing it, our circle of concern shrinks. From caring about humanity to caring only about our community. From caring about our community to caring only about our acquaintances. From caring about our acquaintances to caring only about our close friends. Until finally, we only care about ourselves. But there's another way to live. A way that the great spiritual teachers of all traditions have taught. A way that scientists now confirm makes us happier, healthier, more fulfilled. It's the way of expanding your circle of compassion, of feeling connection not just with those you love, but with all of humanity. Of recognizing that a stranger's suffering deserves as much care as a friend's suffering. Not because you have to save the entire world, not because you have to sacrifice your well-being for others, but because when you expand your capacity for compassion, when you cultivate agape, you become more human, more connected, more alive. And the world, one small step at a time, becomes a little less fragmented, a little more compassionate, a little more full of love. The ancient Greeks understood something profound about love. They understood that not all love is the same, that different types of love require different qualities. We've already talked about eros, passionate love, about storge, familial love, about philia, deep friendship love. But agape was different. Agape was love that didn't depend on who you received. It was love that didn't expect reciprocity. It was love given freely, simply because it was the right thing to do. For early Christian philosophers, agape was divine love, the love God had for humanity, unconditional, limitless, without expectations. But you don't need to be religious to understand agape, because agape, at its essence, is compassion in action. It's seeing suffering and feeling the impulse to ease it. It's recognizing the humanity in every person, even in strangers. It's understanding that we all share the same human condition, with all its joys and pain. And here's what's beautiful about agape. It's not just for saints or mystics. It's not just for special people. It's a capacity we all have. You felt it. When you see a lost child in the supermarket and feel the impulse to help. When you hear about a natural disaster and feel the urgency to contribute. When you see someone being treated unfairly and something in you rebels. That impulse, that feeling in your chest that says, "This isn't right," or "I need to do something." That's agape awakening in you. The problem is we've learned to suppress it. We were told that caring too much will drain us, that worrying about strangers is naive, that we have to put ourselves first or we'll be destroyed. And yes, there's truth in needing to take care of yourself, that you can't pour from an empty cup. But there's also a deeper truth, that when we cultivate agape, when we extend compassion, it doesn't empty us, it fills us. Because connecting with our shared humanity, recognizing that we all suffer, all hope, all struggle, makes us feel less alone, more connected, more alive. And that is the power of agape. It's not sacrifice, it's expansion. It's remembering you're part of something bigger than yourself. I want to share Elena's story with you. Elena is 45. She's an accountant, works at a mid-sized company, lives alone, has a quiet, predictable life. For years, Elena lived what she herself describes as a life on autopilot. Home, work, gym, Netflix, sleep, repeat. She wasn't unhappy, but she wasn't really alive either. Something was missing, something she couldn't name. And then, 5 years ago, something changed. Elena was walking home from work one winter day. It was cold. She just wanted to get to her warm apartment. And then she saw an older man sitting in the doorway of a closed store, homeless, shivering, with an empty cup in front of him. Elena walked by that place every day. She'd seen homeless people before. She always looked away. Because looking meant feeling something. And feeling something meant maybe having to do something. And Elena, like many of us, had learned to protect herself, to not feel too much, to not get involved, to maintain her emotional distance. But that day, that cold winter day, something in her couldn't look away. Maybe it was the way the man was shivering. Maybe it was something in his eyes when their gazes met for a second. But Elena stopped. She bought a hot coffee and a sandwich from the shop next door, walked up to the man, handed him the food. And the man, with trembling hands, took the coffee and said something Elena will never forget. "Thank you for seeing me. Most people don't even look at me." And in that moment, Elena felt something she hadn't felt in years. Connection. Not with someone in her circle, not with a friend, not with family, but with a suffering human being. And something in her woke up. That night, Elena couldn't sleep. She kept thinking about that man, about his words. "Most people don't even look at me." And she wondered, how many times had she looked away? How many times had she protected her comfort at the cost of her humanity? And Elena made a decision, a small decision, but one that would completely change her life. She decided to start seeing, to not look away, to respond when her heart said, "Do something." And that was the beginning of her journey into agape. 5 years after that winter day, Elena is a different person. Not because she quit her job or made dramatic changes to her external life, but because something inside her fundamentally shifted. Elena is now a volunteer at a homeless shelter, 2 evenings a week, without fail. She serves food, she listens to stories, she simply shows up. And she says those evenings are the most meaningful of her week. Not because she feels like a good person, not because she's saving anyone, but because she finally feels connected. Connected to something bigger than her daily concerns. Connected to humanity in its rawest, most real form. Elena told me about a man named Robert. Robert is 60. He lost his job 3 years ago. Then his apartment. Then everything. The first time Robert came to the shelter, he didn't want to talk to anyone. He ate in silence, left quickly. But Elena, with patience, was simply there. Not trying to fix anything, not offering solutions, not judging. Simply seeing Robert as a human being worthy of respect and compassion. And little by little, Robert began to open up. He shared his story, his pain, his shame, his hope. And Elena listened, without judgment, without pity, with pure compassion. One day, Robert told Elena, "You know what's hardest about being on the streets? It's not the cold, it's not the hunger, it's the invisibility. Walking through a city full of people, and no one sees you as a human being." And Elena understood. Agape isn't just giving money or food, though that helps. Agape is seeing. It's recognizing the humanity in the other. It's saying with your presence, you matter. Your story matters. Your pain is valid. Today, Robert has a part-time job. He's saving for an apartment. He still goes to the shelter, but now as a volunteer. And when Elena asked him what helped most on his journey back, Robert didn't mention the assistance programs. He didn't mention the food or shelter. He said, "It was that someone saw me, treated me like a human being when I felt invisible." And Elena says she's the one who received the greatest gift. Because by extending compassion, by cultivating agape, she found meaning. She found purpose. she found a deeper connection to life itself. Not because she's a saint, not because she solved all the world's problems, but because she decided not to look away. She decided to respond when her heart said, "Do something." She decided to expand her circle of compassion, one human being at a time. So how do we cultivate agape? How do we expand our capacity for compassion without burning out? Let me share a model that can help. Imagine your capacity for love and compassion as concentric circles. The first circle, the innermost, is your personal love. This circle includes the people closest to you, your family, your close friends, your partner if you have one. These are the people for whom you naturally feel deep love, for whom you do almost anything, whose suffering you feel as your own. And this circle is important. It's fundamental. You can't skip this circle to get to agape. You can't ignore your loved ones in the name of loving all humanity. Because if you can't love deeply the people close to you, if you can't show compassion to those who share your life, then your love for humanity is just an abstract idea. It's not real. So the first step toward agape is making sure this first circle is healthy, that you're present for the people you love, that you show them compassion when they suffer, that you celebrate their joys, that you're there in tangible, real ways. Because agape doesn't mean ignoring those who are near to help those who are far. Agape means expanding, not replacing. It means keeping your first circle strong and then extending beyond it. But here's the challenge. Many people get stuck in this first circle. Their love, their compassion, their concern only extends to their family and close friends. And anyone outside that circle is a stranger. Someone for whom they feel no responsibility. Someone whose suffering doesn't affect them. And understand, it's natural to feel more for those who are close. It's human. But it's also possible, with practice, with intention, to expand your capacity to feel compassion beyond your immediate circle. Not at the same level, not in the same way, but in a real and meaningful way. And that is what we'll explore in the next circles. The second circle is love for strangers. This is the circle where agape truly begins to emerge. Because it's easy to feel compassion for those you love. It's natural to want to help your family, your friends. But feeling compassion for a stranger, for someone you don't know, for someone you may never see again, that requires something different. It requires you to expand your sense of us, to recognize that the stranger on the street, the person on the other side of the world, the person you read about in the news, is as human as you are, suffers like you, hopes like you, loves like you. And here's what's interesting. Science shows us something fascinating about compassion. When you feel genuine compassion for someone, even a stranger, your brain doesn't distinguish much between their suffering and yours. The same areas that activate when you suffer, activate when you see another suffer. It's as if your brain says, that pain is my pain. I need to do something. And this isn't weakness. It's not being too sensitive. It's one of the most beautiful characteristics of being human. This capacity to feel with the other, to suffer with the other, to recognize that their humanity is your humanity. Buddhists have a term for this, karuna, compassion, literally to tremble with. It's not pity, which looks down from above. It's not sympathy, which says, I feel sorry for you. It's compassion, which says, I'm with you in this. So how do we cultivate this compassion for strangers? It's not automatic. It's not easy. It requires intentional practice. Start with small acts of recognition. When you walk down the street, really look at people. Don't just see them. Look at them. Acknowledge their humanity with a small gesture, a smile, a nod. When you hear about tragedies in the news, pause, breathe. Remember that these are real people, with families, with dreams, with pain. Don't stay at the abstract level of numbers or statistics. Humanize the suffering. And when you see an opportunity to help, even if it's a small act, even if it's a stranger, respond. Buy the coffee, give the change, offer the help. Not because you're going to change the world, but because each act of compassion changes you. It expands you. It connects you. It makes you more human. And little by little, with practice, your second circle grows. Your capacity to feel compassion for strangers strengthens. And the world feels less divided, less fragmented, a little more connected. The third circle, the most expansive, is universal love. This is agape in its purest form. It's love that extends not just to humans you know or see, but to all of humanity, to all living creatures, to life itself. And I know this can sound abstract, even impossible. How can you love all of humanity? People you don't even know, people on the other side of the world. It's not about feeling the same personal love you feel for your family. It's not about feeling the same connection you feel with your friends. It's about something more subtle, more profound. It's a recognition that we all share the same human condition. We were all born. We'll all die. We've all known joy. We've all known pain. We all want to be happy. We all want to avoid suffering. And in that recognition, there's compassion. Mystics from all traditions have spoken about this. Sufis say, love all creation as if you were yourself. Buddhists practice metta. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. Christians speak of agape, God's unconditional love for all humanity. And though these come from different traditions, they all point to the same truth, that it's possible, with practice, with intention, to expand your heart beyond the personal. It doesn't mean you can help everyone. It doesn't mean you have to get involved in every cause. It doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your well-being. It means you keep your heart open. That when you hear about suffering, anywhere in the world, you feel something, even if it's small. That you recognize that those people, though you'll never meet them, are as human as you are. They deserve compassion. They deserve dignity. They deserve love. And here's what's beautiful. When you cultivate this third circle, this universal love, it doesn't make you feel small or overwhelmed. It makes you feel connected, part of something bigger, part of the human family. And that connection, that sense of belonging to something greater than yourself, is one of the deepest sources of meaning and purpose. You don't have to be perfect at this. You don't have to feel equal love for everyone. But you can practice, day by day, moment by moment, expanding your capacity for compassion, widening your circle of concern, remembering that we're all connected. And when you do, when you cultivate agape, you don't just make the world better. You make yourself more whole, more human, more alive. Now we need to talk about something important. something that stops many people from cultivating compassion. The fear of compassion fatigue. Maybe you've heard this term, compassion fatigue. It's the idea that if you feel too much compassion, if you care too much, if you help too much, you'll burn out. You'll empty yourself. You'll be destroyed. And there's truth to this. Professionals who constantly work with trauma, doctors, nurses, social workers, therapists, yes, they can experience compassion fatigue. But here's what research shows us. Burnout doesn't come from feeling too much compassion. It comes from feeling compassion without being able to do anything about it. It's the helplessness that drains, not the compassion itself. When you see suffering after suffering and feel you can't make a difference, when your emotional resources are constantly demanded without time to recharge, when you absorb others' pain without processing or releasing it, then yes, you can burn out. But healthy compassion, sustainable compassion, doesn't drain. It nourishes. Why? Because true compassion includes action. It's not just feeling another's pain and being paralyzed. It's feeling another's pain and responding in some way. Even if it's small, even if it doesn't solve the whole problem. The act of doing something, anything, relieves the helplessness. And healthy compassion also includes boundaries. You can feel compassion for someone without taking responsibility for fixing their life. You can help without sacrificing your own well-being. You can give from a place of fullness, not obligation. Buddhists have a beautiful saying, compassion without wisdom is sentimentalism. Wisdom without compassion is cruelty. You need both. So how do you practice compassion without burning out? First, choose your battles. You can't help with everything. You can't get involved in every cause. Choose the ones that resonate most deeply with you, where you feel you can make a real difference. And it's okay to say no to everything else. Second, give from fullness, not emptiness. Make sure you're okay first, that you've slept, eaten, rested. The airplane metaphor is perfect here. Put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Not because you're selfish, but because you can't pour from an empty cup. Third, celebrate small impacts. You don't need to change the entire world for it to matter. Helping one person is important. Giving one meal is important. Listening to one story is important. Don't minimize the impact of small acts, because for that person, they weren't small. And finally, practice self-compassion. Be as gentle with yourself as you are with others. When you make mistakes, forgive yourself. When you're tired, rest. When you need to say no, say it without guilt. Because agape, compassionate love, includes loving yourself too. With these principles, you can cultivate compassion sustainably, without burning out, without emptying yourself. And you'll discover that giving from this place doesn't drain you, it fills you. I want us to reflect on something. We live in a divided world, divided by politics, by religion, by race, by class, by nationality. Divided by walls, some physical, others invisible. Divided into us and them, those who deserve compassion and those who don't. Those who are worthy and those who aren't. And this division, this fragmentation, is one of the deepest sources of suffering in our world. But what if more people cultivated agape? What if more people expanded their circle of compassion? I'm not talking about a utopian fantasy. I'm not talking about everyone holding hands and singing together. I'm talking about something more subtle but more powerful. I'm talking about seeing the humanity in the other. Recognizing that the person with different political beliefs is human. That the person of a different religion is human. That the person of a different race, class, nationality is human. And when you see the humanity in someone, when you recognize their suffering as valid, when you feel even a flicker of compassion, it becomes harder to dehumanize, harder to hate, harder to be cruel. It doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone. It doesn't mean you can't have boundaries. It doesn't mean you tolerate the intolerable. But it means you keep their humanity intact. That even when you disagree, even when you need to distance yourself, you still see them as human beings, with their own story, with their own pain, with their own search for happiness. And this is radical. In a world that constantly pushes us towards division, that tells us only our tribe matters, that trains us to dehumanize the other, keeping the other's humanity intact is a revolutionary act. It's an act of resistance against fragmentation, against hate, against division. And no, it won't solve all the world's problems. It won't end all wars or injustices. But yes, it can change something fundamental. It can change how you move through the world, how you treat people, how you respond to suffering. And when enough people change, when enough people cultivate agape, the world, little by little, becomes a more compassionate place, more human, more connected. And that begins with you, with your decision to expand your circle of compassion, with your daily practice of seeing the humanity in others. Not because you're perfect, not because you can save everyone, but because it's the most beautiful and meaningful way to live. There's something else I want you to understand about agape. Cultivating compassion isn't just good for the world. It's good for you. The scientific research on this is clear. People who regularly practice compassion, who help others, who feel connection to something bigger than themselves, are happier, healthier, more resilient. It's not just a feel-good sensation. These are measurable changes. Less depression, less anxiety, better cardiovascular health, stronger immune systems. They even live longer. Why? Because humans weren't designed to live in isolation. We weren't designed to care only about ourselves. We were designed to live in community, to care for each other, to feel connection to something bigger than ourselves. When we live only for ourselves, when our circle of concern shrinks to only our own needs, something in us withers. We feel empty, isolated, without purpose. But when we expand our compassion, when we give, when we help, when we connect, something in us flourishes. Because finally, we're living according to our deepest nature, our need for connection, for meaning, for purpose. Viktor Frankl, Holocaust survivor, wrote something profound. Success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue. And it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself. In other words, You don't find meaning and happiness by chasing them directly. You find them as a result of giving yourself to something bigger than you. And agape, compassion, service, is one of the most direct ways to connect with something bigger. So when Elena says her volunteer work at the shelter is the most meaningful part of her week, she's not saying it because she's especially noble. She's saying it because she's experiencing something we all crave: real connection, deep meaning, lived purpose. She's saying it because finally she's living according to her deepest nature as a human being. And that is available to all of us. You don't need to be Elena. You don't need to work at a shelter. You just need to start where you are, with what you have, expanding your circle of compassion. And you'll discover that in giving, you receive. That in connecting, you heal. That in cultivating agape, you find what you've always been looking for: meaning, purpose, connection. Not as a nice side effect, but as the natural consequence of living with an open heart. Now I want to give you 3 concrete practices for cultivating agape. Practice number 1, metta meditation. This is a Buddhist practice thousands of years old, and modern science confirms it works. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, close your eyes, and start with these phrases directed toward yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Repeat them several times. Feel the words. Then, think of someone you love. Visualize their face and direct the same phrases toward that person. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Feel the genuine wish for their well-being. Then, think of someone neutral, someone you know but toward whom you feel neither love nor dislike. The cashier at the grocery store, your neighbor, and offer the same phrases. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. And if you can, if you're ready, think of someone difficult, someone you've had conflict with. And even though it's hard, even though you feel resistance, offer the same phrases. Not because you approve of their actions, but because you recognize their humanity. And finally, expand to all beings. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings live with ease. Practice this 5 minutes a day and watch how, little by little, your capacity for compassion expands. Practice number 2, weekly anonymous act of kindness. Once a week, do something kind for a stranger. And here's the key: do it anonymously. Pay for the coffee of the person behind you in line. Leave a generous tip. Help someone carry something heavy. Donate to a cause that matters. But don't do it for recognition. Don't do it to feel good about yourself. Do it simply because you can. Because someone will benefit. Because it's a small act of agape. And notice something curious. These small acts, anonymous, without expectation of recognition, often make you feel more satisfied than big acts with lots of recognition. Because they're pure, without ego, without agenda, simply giving because you can. Practice number 3, daily expansion question. Every night before sleeping, ask yourself, did I expand my circle of compassion today or shrink it? Did I respond with compassion when someone was suffering or look away? Did I see the humanity in someone different from me or dehumanize them? Did I act from agape or only from self-interest? Don't judge yourself if the answer isn't always positive. No one's perfect at this. But the simple act of asking, the simple act of being conscious, makes it more likely that tomorrow you'll choose differently. That tomorrow, in that moment when you can respond with compassion or ignore, you'll choose compassion. These 3 practices, implemented consistently, won't make you perfect, but they'll make you more compassionate. And that's the journey, not perfection, but constant expansion of your capacity to love. We've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about agape, about the 3 circles, about sustainable compassion. But I want you to take away something fundamental. You don't have to be a saint to cultivate agape. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to save the world. You just have to start. Start where you are, with what you have, with who you are. Maybe you start with small acts of kindness towards strangers. Maybe you start with metta meditation. Maybe you start simply by stopping looking away. It doesn't matter how you start. What matters is that you start. Because agape, like any capacity, strengthens with use. Every act of compassion, no matter how small, expands your capacity to feel compassion. Every time you respond to another's suffering, you become more capable of responding next time. Every time you expand your circle, it becomes more natural to expand it a little more. And here's what's beautiful. It doesn't just change the world around you, it changes you. It makes you less isolated, more connected, less indifferent, more alive, less empty, more meaningful. Because in giving love, you fill yourself with love. Elena's story isn't special because she's special. It's special because it shows what's available to everyone. That when you stop looking away, when you respond with compassion, when you cultivate agape, you find what we're all seeking: purpose, meaning, connection. Not in distant places or extraordinary circumstances, but here, now, in ordinary acts of extraordinary compassion. So the invitation is simple. Don't close your heart to protect yourself from the world's pain. Don't shrink your circle of compassion out of fear of burnout. Instead, dare to feel, dare to see, dare to respond. Not perfectly, not always, not with everyone, but consistently, with intention, with an open heart. Because agape isn't just a beautiful ideal, it's a lived practice. It's the love that chooses to see the stranger, to feel with the suffering, to respond when you can. And in that love, we find our deepest humanity, our truest connection, our most meaningful purpose. Before I go, I want to leave you with an image. Imagine a world where more people cultivated agape. Not a perfect world, not utopia, but a world where more people choose compassion over indifference, choose to see over ignore, choose to respond over walk away. A world where the stranger on the street doesn't feel invisible. A world where those who suffer don't suffer alone. A world where the divisions between us and them become a little more blurred, because we recognize we're all human. We all suffer. We all hope. We all love. That world won't appear magically. It won't be created by a leader or a movement. It will be created person by person, act by act, by people like you and me choosing to expand their compassion, choosing to cultivate agape. And your contribution, however small it seems, matters. Because you don't know when a small act of kindness will change someone's life. You don't know when your compassion will be what someone needed to not give up. You don't know when your example will inspire someone else to open their heart. So don't underestimate the power of small acts. Don't minimize your capacity to make a difference. Because one life touched is one life changed. And that life can touch others. And so, little by little, the world transforms. Not dramatically, not overnight, but really and profoundly. In the next episode, we'll return to self-love. We'll talk about how to speak to yourself as you would someone you love. Because agape, compassionate love, must also include you. But for now, thank you for being here. Thank you for opening your heart to this conversation. And remember, the love you give returns to you. Not always from the same person, not always in the way you expect, but it returns in the form of meaning, of purpose, of connection, in the form of a life well lived. So cultivate agape, expand your compassion, open your heart. Not because you're perfect, but because you're human. And being fully human includes loving beyond your immediate circle, includes seeing the stranger, includes responding to those who suffer, includes recognizing that everyone, absolutely everyone, deserves compassion. Until the next episode. And in the meantime, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, and may all beings experience love.